It is Wednesday, my dudes, which means it's time to remember that shoving is not a bonus action. It is August the 23rd, 2023, session number 60. How's everybody doing?
So good.
So good.
Happy to hear it. What happened last time? It's been a minute. Last time we tried to play, but we couldn't because Russ was on hotel Wi-Fi, which was to say he was not on Wi-Fi.
I was on slideshow mode.
We had a good talk with
Yeah, we did a
Larry.
Matthew talk to himself session again.
Yeah, we did. Matthew especially.
The classic, yeah. There's one every 10.
A lot of NPCs talk to other NPCs.
Uh-huh.
We figured out more or less what was happening on the other side, which is to say the original side.
I believe you did talk to your friends from the other side.
Yeah. And now we decided. Oh yeah, Millicent almost killed me because I had a date episode with Celeste, and those are never allowed to go right.
No.
That's correct.
That's illegal.
I didn't make that rule, Robin, as you may recall.
I invented it.
Anytime it's like a Rook and Millicent escapade of any variety, it's gonna go wrong.
What happened was you gave her Gratz to hold on to.
Yes.
We discovered Gratz.
Yeah, we discovered where he was.
Luckily, Baranon was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Biggest gaslight.
gave you guys a big old lore dump as well.
Yeah.
Which is great, by the way. Thank you, so that I don't have to remember what Russ knows. And what, it's like, hey, you learned your ascension. It's like,
this is what I always do. Because you know what? I also have a hard time remembering things sometimes. So, as evidenced by Bezod going back and forth between whether or not he knows that you're from another world. It happens. We all have day jobs. You guys...
We learned about rocks. I learned about primordium and all of our stones and all that shit. We were gonna...
I believe the
supposed to be able to
bird horked up a Dreamcast logo for Rook.
Yeah, sure did. And my last takeaway on that was I might be able to consciously seek more based on the current amount we have and our bonds with it, and then it gets like stronger when there's more of it. And then we met fucking Fedora guy.
Oh, of course. Barney Wallace.
Yeah.
How did you guys forget Fedora guy?
There was so much that happened last time.
He's the coolest.
Yeah.
But now you mention him, I remember so much about him.
Yeah. I think I tried to purposely block it out of my brain.
Who was the there was a character in my Waterdeep campaign that was like that, wasn't there?
Yes. He wasn't the sergeant, but he was someone that he sent for us.
Yes, when you did the rat stuff.
Yeah, the rat thing. Yeah.
The rats.
Classic.
I don't have any.
It was never mind. Something about a bowl of oatmeal.
Yeah, the plot was getting thicker than a bowl of oatmeal.
And Robin, you were like, oh, now that I'm reminded of him, I still don't remember him. Well, unfortunately, my notes are my notes. So all I have is awkward Fedora man and Gaius' warlock sent to help ? So that's what we're working with.
I think that's really all there is to know. His name is Barnabas Wallace. He was in Forceburg with that crew for a time. And he is a warlock of the genie, specifically Gaius.
Oh. And he also knew of a magical spring in Salt Rock. Apparently it ruffled Dodger's feathers.
That is true. That is somewhat common knowledge to people who live in the area. That is kind of why Forceburg came up as a major settlement in the first place, and kind of a temple area, because they have that river that kind of flows out of the mountains, and that area is supposedly enchanted with some sort of mystical property.
Oh, that's right. I'll go take a drink one of these days.
Take a little sip. I do believe you then teleported to Cinder's house via transport via plant.
Yes.
With you for Halvad,
Celerio,
Celerio, and King.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
sounds
that was
better.
the 7,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so that you
So
could teleport if need be.
Yeah.
So that more of them could get them back, because that's my 1/6 for the week. Hoo-hee.
Because a bunch of
Hoo-hee,
people-
indeed. There's... Alright. There we go. Now that's running, everything. So, you all step through the trunk of a large nearby tree that Cinder has pointed out, and you guys just kind of single file, with some trepidation, step through. You find yourselves in, well, I think, Russ, I'll leave the description of what this may have looked like up to you.
Okay. So, guys, remember the description of the... Really? Now? The description of the forest when we were into the basin on the other side, as we reached the area where Cinder's people lived there. That's kind of, think California redwoods, kind of, grand trees towering into the sky, huge, big around. And you seem to have entered, or seem to have emerged on the inside of one of those. There's a carved out space. It's a combination of wood carving and wood burning that has patterns and runes on the walls, and it's very simple and austere. There is something that would probably service as a bed, something that would probably service as a table, a mantle with no hearth to speak of in it. All of these individual pieces of furniture carved out of the wood of the tree itself, kind of then using the flames to burn patterns into it, almost more decorative. And there's a kind of entryway across the room from you. You seem to have entered on the far side of this. Probably pretty small, Matthew. I don't know how. I'm assuming there would be more than one of these per, like, kind of going around the tree.
Yeah.
But I was kind of visualizing, studio apartments.
Yeah.
And across from me, there's a door that's hung with woven vines and leaves and such to make kind of a heavy curtain or drape that you could use to push aside.
Yeah, I would say also the bed is likely more kind of like ornamental and probably more of like a workspace that you could sit on, given that you don't sleep.
Yeah, a bunch of the things in there seemed to be made because it seemed like they were supposed to. Like, none of the furniture really looks appropriate. Like, there's a hearth for no furnace and no chimney for the fire. There's a bed for a guy who doesn't sleep and a table for a guy who doesn't eat. It's a little odd, but it looks like the best approximation of what a home should look like for somebody who's never seen one.
And you is there a little kitchen?
There's like a space that would be like countertops that look like they've been used as like a workspace, and you see like it's like Cinder carries the notebook, and there's other books there and pressed plants and a few things that seem to have been potted and seem to have been tended while he was gone. There's some growing plants in there, and it looks like a best approximation of what you would expect a home to look like
For somebody for an alien, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
Some other additional notes. The plants look like they have been tended, but they look like they haven't been tended in a little bit. Some of them have clearly overgrown. Nothing has died, but there's lots of like, kind of your little window plant boxes kind of have overflown a little bit. And you guys also see that the hearth is just sort of set into the back wall, and you kind of peer at it and it almost seems kind of orangey or brown almost. As you can see, there's just this very thin layer of like hardened resin basically that kind of goes over it with this like very intricate pattern that seems to reflect the light in some strange ways. As you guys kind of step through and the unnatural opening in the side of the tree closes behind you, you can see almost instinctively Zarkvoid just kind of exits the robotic kind of shell that he was in and kind of occupies the hearth and just kind of sits And as he does so, you can see shining out from him and reflecting and refracting through that resin cover, the entirety of the inside of this place just comes alive in a completely different way, as it just kind of reflects these intricate patterns of light that kind of dance around, and it's like a natural disco ball effect, basically. That
Nice.
it's more soothing and kind of warm, but it really lights the place up and lets you see all the nooks and crannies. Very interestingly, along with the thin layer of dust covering everything in this place, there's an eerie stillness outside. And as you see the spirit kind of reflect this light through the resin, you guys can all see this pattern begin to take shape on the far wall opposite the hearth, kind of made of brighter lights, where it seems the resin has been carved in a specific way. There are spirals and flowing shapes that seem to make out vines or leaves or flowers. It almost looks like a cipher of some kind that none of you understand, but Cinder, you recognize this as druidic. It almost seems... It is not a message that you have carved into it, but it seems as though it was left for you.
Well,
The place looks nice.
Yeah. I like this little disco ball thing.
yeah.
Very fine craftsmanship.
Yeah, do you do all this?
I had a lot of time and some good help. 4 is quite handy. And I was the first, so we didn't have a lot of other things going on at the time.
It was a good way for me to
that's-
practice some motor skills, too.
We weren't always as coordinated. It
No.
was kind of our earlier way of communicating. We were able to
Mm-hmm.
points to some of the moving patterns on the wall, could move the light to some of the things, and we were able to make messages of a sort as we were learning our bond. That one, though, that one wasn't us. Pointing at the,
What is-
squiggles on the wall, the brighter
Is
squiggles
that,
on the wall.
is that different from the rest of it?
Someone put some squiggles. Is that?
Yeah.
I
That's,
take it that's druidic.
Indeed. It's a message left for me from one of them. It says that they had to leave because of the problems that have been coming to the basin, the corrupted children of Araket.
Mm.
They gave me directions to where they went, whoever's left.
Is it far?
2 days.
Ah.
2 days walking, so we can probably do better than that.
Yeah, we got our ship, I guess, right?
We do. Should be wary of whatever drove them away if it's taken up residence since. Zoxfoy, you may want to bring down the light a little bit, just in
Yeah,
case.
roger that. It kind of instinctively just goes back to occupy you instead of the shell.
Is
Doesn't
there-
even like register, just
Yeah.
is normal and continue.
You make an insight check for me. I'll give you advantage on this too.
Tiny 8.
There is something off about the way this feels in a different way than the one on the other side. Where there it just felt kind of cold or distant or not like the home that you knew. This feels very clearly like the home you once knew, but corrupted, darker, not as welcoming, and not as safe. You almost feel something pressing on the back of your mind, some otherworldly presence trying to gain a foothold in you.
Should have brought a different spell.
But you do have quite enough people in there already, so it doesn't really do much other than just kind of tickle.
Well, can we
I
go
wish I
take a
could-
look around?
Yeah, I'm going to check. Can I like just peek out the little curtain into the
Yeah, go ahead and make a
rest of the
perception
village.
check. Kind of peer out. You can see the whole area has just been kind of coated in a very fine mist, a darkish mist that kind of swirls about and almost seems to be like reaching in like tendrils as you make this opening to try and get in. It almost seems sentient in a way. You can see the village, the small village that had been constructed by your crew, empty of light and flame. It does seem to have been bolstered somewhat substantially compared to when you last saw it about a year ago. There are more watch points that you can point out very quickly in the trees up above that the others probably don't even notice, but you can see very clearly where platforms and pulleys and systems of reaching the treetops have been installed. Places where people were likely watching from and defending from. You can see kind of like wooden palisades at certain places that are just kind of hastily kind of slapped into the ground at certain places, and you can see the ground itself is almost devoid of underbrush. It's just been cleared away with dirt and mud, and in some places kind of a brackish, yellowy black liquid substance on the ground that you couldn't even begin to identify it from this distance.
Come back in. Things are definitely wrong. The corruption was nowhere near the village when I left, but it seems to have all but taken it over now.
Now, when we are saying corruption, is it like there's more of those little misty guys floating around out there, or?
Could be a lot of things. I think we did see some of those on our side as well, right, Matthew? The same like misty dudes we saw on the other side.
You saw misty things. You're
like
not
before I left, the stuff that
Oh,
we were,
yeah.
like, running from that.
You
like,
saw-
I should be familiar with some of the threats.
This is definitely, as you kind of reach back into your mind, this definitely looked like what in a similar vein to the kind of corrupted, aberrant, and undead kind of forces that were threatening to overtake you. But it definitely seems like they were preparing for larger things than what you saw. And indeed, as you look out, you can see some of the trees have, not yours, but some of the other ones have kind of, they almost look burned or charred, but as you kind of get a closer look at some of them, they almost just seem like the wood itself has been malformed and mutated, some of the bark almost seems to have turned to like a dark, very faintly pulsing flesh.
When I left, it was still small enough things that I could help deal with, and I was not the most competent when we met. Grown a lot since then, so that kind of gives the idea of what we were seeing. But worse was on the horizon, and appears to have arrived. There's some mist and goo out there, so I don't know what we're going to see. I know where we need to go, but I don't know what's going to try and stop us.
This place that we're traveling to is, I'm assuming, it's farther away, or?
Yes, but depending on how long this message has been here, yeah, it is.
Okay.
But depending on how long it's been since this message was left, the blight may have caught up to that too.
Well, best gonna move on, eh?
I suppose so.
Yeah.
Is there any thing we should know about before we hit the road? Is there any I've never been here. Any concerns we should have, or things to keep an eye out for?
I mean, the things that were making their way in that were causing the problems were all aberrant and undead and unnatural things that did not belong here. So it's hard for me to say what we'll encounter in that aspect. But
Brand.
as far as the natural forests, no, there's nothing really worth fearing. The biggest risk would be getting lost, and you have me for that.
Excellent, then lead the way.
Well,
Yep.
hey, Celeste got her cleric mojo back, so undead will be no problem, right?
Oh yeah.
That is true, though I'm going to have to remember all that and make sure.
Would
But yeah, it should be fine.
Cinder would head over to the mantle and wipe away that message that was left, and take out his little scrimshaw that he made a while ago, and leave it on the mantle. And then head for the door.
All right. You guys all head out. I would like everybody to go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Love to.
Perception.
Yep.
I'm assuming I don't need to make another one. I just got what I got last time.
You can make another one too.
Okay. Got what I got last time.
All right. For some reason, it looks like Cinder and Zarks were taken off the combat tracker last time. So if you want to reapply some of the stuff that's on
The
you.
things. Yeah, sure.
You guys step out. Immediately, you're struck by, as you were before, just the sheer magnitude of the wildlife here. The trees are enormous, stretching up farther than you can see. The bases of them, several, maybe some of them, the largest ones, close to 100 feet in diameter around the trunk. Like, these things are gigantic. Some of them smaller and a little bit more close to what you're used to. But you guys, as you're walking, you see a strange-looking set of trees. They seem to be slightly smaller trees with these, like, orange fruits dangling from it that seem to be giving off a faint glow as you kind of make your way in the direction that Cinder leads you, somewhat out of the village. These strange orange fruits are almost like pitcher-shaped.
Is that something I would have seen when I was here, or is that new?
Make a nature check. This is very clearly something that you have not seen before. You are not familiar with this.
Does it look fully natural with that check? Does it look like just a plant or some sort of corrupted weirdness?
It's definitely a plant, but it is a little bit unnatural, like a lot of the stuff here, but it just kind of almost seems to be kind of a beacon in the darkness, this glow
Can I take
coming
one of
from
those?
it.
I would be cautious, but yeah, I would imagine
Maybe I
so.
can like make something with it.
If it was allowed to grow this close to home, I would imagine so, but I don't, unless it's grown since they've left. I don't know what it is. It's new to me.
I'll take one.
All right. I would like you to roll a d8 for me, please.
Oh no.
Oh,
6.
Okay. Hold on. All right, go ahead and roll a d6 for me.
3.
You become resistant to fire damage for 8 hours after you pick the fruit.
Wow.
Whoa. What?
ow.
Am I aware of this?
You just feel kind of bolstered a little bit.
I picked the fruit and I feel good about this decision.
Good
And
hell.
good in general. Just
How many were there?
There are 7 total.
This feels like it might have been left by the Chosen.
So,
Well,
do we
everybody
go
gets
ahead
fruit.
and pick it?
You all can pick
I'll leave that to you all. I don't.
Could I go
Mega
like
habit of
check
picking
it out
strange fruit.
and see if there's any like anything left, any like druidic or any marking or like anything else to see about it other than just
You make an
vent?
investigation check.
Yeah.
resistance to fire.
I have guidance. I need to remember I have guidance. I will use it. Herder
Okay.
10.
The trees are kind of set here in this very clear clearing in the midst of some of the others. Like it definitely seems like it was put here by design, but you can't make out any markings or anything that would indicate to you what it was that did or who.
I'll go ahead and take one as well.
All right, roll a d8 for me. I need everybody to make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Oh.
Nice.
What at 10?
No, listen, it's the one thing you're good at. Why?
Celeste, you succeed. You take 10 poison damage. Everybody else takes 20, as it just kind of explodes into poison gas.
I didn't feel good.
No.
Didn't like that one.
Watch it.
I don't. Yep. I don't know. I assumed it was left by. One of us used to stay around, and she tended to the groves and the gardens and things like that, and always grew strange things that we hadn't seen. It was one of her gifts of Araket that she had that ability to make things that otherwise you wouldn't have here. I was thinking this might have been one of hers. I am still thinking that, but I'm less pleased.
Maybe she just did a bad job with that one.
Or she made just something.
You guys hear this strange, like, and then suddenly from all around you, you see these purple beams of light just come out of the trees. And you can see hanging from the branches of a nearby tree and perched on a nearby rock, you see 4 of these things. And they all shoot at each of you.
Oh,
So I will do that, and then we will go ahead and roll initiative.
good.
Cool.
Good.
These would be those things that I said I didn't know what we were running into. Shit like that.
All right, Rook, you're fine.
Okay.
Int save.
Cinder, you are frightened for 1 minute.
Oh.
Scared? Scared of some plants.
But you are.
Well, since you're fine.
Oh.
Well, I'm not a plant with laser beams.
That's true.
Could
Those
be.
are scary.
Oh.
Suppose I
You
kinda am. I
are
have
wasting away for 1 minute, Celeste, which means you are vulnerable to necrotic damage and you only regain half of the health from healing.
Oh, that's brutal.
Oh.
light for a minute.
You can repeat the
For a
save every
minute.
turn.
Hmm.
And then we will go ahead and roll initiative here. Here's our map.
Boy.
You guys are just kind of standing in this clearing here with all of these boys.
Wow.
Oh, chaos creepers.
The creeper, the tree that you guys were pulling from, suddenly seems to come to life,
Oh, of course it does.
and it will go for two fruit bomb attacks.
Great.
One at Cinder. I'll do both at Cinder because it's the only one that's out of range, and they both miss. The Doom Creeper up in the trees. Will shoot its beam at. We'll go for Cinder as well. They don't particularly like you.
Can't imagine why.
You're fine, and then it is going to slink on out of the tree and creep towards you
Oh.
and go for a couple of decaying vine attacks.
Mm.
Didn't do this correctly, but hold on a second. I have to fix this damage. There's some slashing and some necrotic, as you may have guessed. Second vine attack is these thorny vines just rake across you. Second one you are able to step back out of the way of. This one coming down in the trees is just going to go ahead and do 2 of those at Celeste.
Oh no. Beforehand.
No.
Oh no?
Oh,
Uh-oh.
great!
Oh, this is the worst.
My
Oh, no.
bones.
Oh. Oh.
So this will be that, and also that, which you
Wow.
are vulnerable to.
Oh.
So that'll be another
Great.
28 necrotic. That one really doesn't feel too good. And then it will go for a second attack. That was almost another 20.
Oh my sweet god. Also, real quick, the tracker and my active sheet aren't the same.
Oh no?
Is
That's
it
the wrong
other
Celeste.
Yeah.
Wrong Celeste, hang
There's-
on. Good call.
It's like, why am I?
I will. So that'll be 53 and another 28.
I'm at 63 right now. Then.
And then the second attack comes down to you as well. So this will be doubled because you are. Oh no, you're not on the map anymore.
No.
This one will be doubled. And then this is not doubled.
So
This one
So 34.
is going to do its eyeball beam. Or whatever it is, beam. With the same one, the wasting. On Millicent.
Cool. Yeah.
So you are now also vulnerable to necrotic.
Woo! Yep.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. Any ideas?
I don't know, fire?
That was my guess.
I don't have fire.
Well then,
Anything?
slash at it.
I'm a bard. Why would I have fire?
I don't know.
What?
What do you have? You sing to it?
I could do
Sing in the
this.
sleep?
I could do this. This might work. Well, I'm fresh out of ideas.
What was that?
That was disintegrate.
Oh.
Oh,
Wow.
So-
that's unfortunate.
That
So
is
here,
unfortunate.
here you
indeed.
go, Cinder. Have an inspiration. You can do it.
Hopefully.
This
I will
one-
test the fire.
You see it dropped one of its fruits, and everybody around it heals. Or 26.
Wow.
So it'll be halved if we got hit by the thing.
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
And it is now your turn, Millicent.
Wow. Well, that's about 14. I would love to.
These are very confusing plants.
I'm very-
Yeah.
I'm getting mixed messages.
I can't tell if they like us or they hate us.
I'm just-
Well,
I'm
these ones.
confused.
The laser
I
beam
guess
ones,
those-
pretty straightforward.
Those ones I can
Oh.
understand. Those ones are very clear.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to this one. Uh-oh.
Yeah. There you go.
The
I'm
fucking
so
plant
confused. I get
holders.
angry about what's going on. And I'll hit. Yay. I hope this works. Wait, is this new? No? Okay. Oh, let's go!
Very nice.
Perfect for some plants.
Wow.
Alright, well. That's my turn.
Okay. You can repeat your Constitution save.
Ooh, thank God. Should've got Millicent. Millicent! What's up with you?
You're
Just
still vulnerable to necrotic.
look at your proficiency.
Rook.
Okay.
Now let's try fire. I'll shoot at that one in the trees. Okay. With my flamethrower.
It seems to affect it, but not necessarily more than normal.
Seems like normal damage. Do you think these trees will swat at me if I run away?
I do not have any idea.
This is new territory.
I'm gonna step away from the trees.
They leave you alone.
Okay, good.
I'm kind of getting the impression that if we weren't near these trees, they wouldn't be a problem.
They seem to have been a trap.
Seems that way.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be over here. Hello.
Hello. You're fine? Damn it. Okay. Blessed.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and cast Spirit Guardians.
Yeah.
Because I actually haven't used that spell the whole time, so
That spell rules.
it does.
I'm using the shit out of it in Baldur's Gate.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Alright.
I'm gonna start running around.
Yeah.
Because jumping is so broken in that game, you're like, Spirit Guardian.
Yeah.
You can jump so far in that game. It's not natural.
Alright, so I don't really have a good bonus, so that should do it.
All right. Cinder, as you once again feel, Celeste, as you once again feel the comforting presence of your goddess, it's not super close, but definitely closer than she was before, and you are able to once again successfully channel that divine energy for the first time in quite some time.
Cool. I'm a blight number 6.
Okay. What's the deal with plants with that one again?
If they are a non-magical plant, they just die. If it is a magical plant, makes the save with disadvantage and deals max damage.
Oh.
Wow.
Okay.
Also, Matthew, do I need to reroll my save, or am I just stuck like that for a minute?
Oh, you can reroll the save, yeah.
Oh, I'm also afraid. I guess it only matters for moving.
It only matters for, like, attacks and stuff, yeah.
And I'm not doing that right now. He failed.
Hey, he didn't even need disadvantage. He rolled a natural 1.
Cool. He takes.
So yeah, Celeste, you can make a
64.
con save.
Alright, thank you.
He takes 64. Force damage.
64. Isn't it necrotic damage?
Is it necrotic?
With blight,
You
I'm pretty
are
sure it is.
correct. It is necrotic.
He's already looking pretty bad.
Hey,
I thought you were saying
Did that
immune, and I
look
was
like it
that
did?
sucks.
That looked like it did like regular.
Regular, yeah.
Yep. Okay. Cool.
And you
Works
can
for me.
repeat your wisdom save now.
I will, and I will bonus action.
Oh wait, I think it
and
was
spirit.
charisma. Yeah, it's charisma.
Mine was charisma, yeah, which I'm worse at.
Yep.
Kiki.
Still
I will
scared.
bonus command the spirit, and I will have him teleport everybody, so that I can move the spirit guardians.
Mm.
Maddie, can you find a circle that touches both of these guys?
Find a circle.
Yeah, like find a space where your circle will touch both
Oh.
of those
I
guys.
found
and
it.
I'll have the spirit teleport you. Yeah, cool. Spirit teleports are there.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
And everybody else?
And me away, and Rook's already gone. And him.
You want to go ahead
Stay
and
with
roll that explodey damage on the trees?
Yes. Once I remind myself the thing that I really should know at this point. Yes, okay. I was like, is it Thunderstep where I blow up the spot I leave, or this blow up the spot I arrive? I always fucking forget.
Yeah.
Let's
That's
blow up,
fair.
let's blow up the spot I leave. Oh, hey, Celerio was right there. He'll be alright.
He's fine.
Can you roll
Yeah,
2d8s
we got it.
for me?
2d8s.
Mhm.
Knock some fruit down.
Oh no, he might not be fine.
You see a whole bunch of insects just burst off of one of the trees and just...
Oh.
And they
no, not
immediately
insects.
swarm towards... number 14, and they will do some damage to him.
Oh, good.
The second one will be a different fruit, which goes Celerio. Make a Constitution save. Oh, that's a 3. Celerio turns into a squirrel.
That's how that is a spice.
Very good.
For 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
And then the tree will throw a bomb.
Oh.
And we'll throw
Oh,
2
oh.
bombs at number 14 and number 6.
You just have those?
Yeah, it's got fruit bombs. They're different than the regular fruit.
Ah.
And these do... Somebody roll a d6 for me.
Sure.
Do it.
Okay, these do cold damage, which
Hmm.
it seems to be vulnerable to. So that was... It says it was resisted because it has it written down as every elemental damage type, and I'm supposed to pick which kind it is. So
Ah.
it says 0, but it actually did 40, which is then 80.
Oh!
Because it says it's acid, cold, fire, lightning, poison, thunder damage, and because it's resistant to some of those, that just got pushed down into nothing. And then it will also be... Oh, I did the damage to the wrong thing, though. That was at number 14.
Which one was the one that was...
Then it's going to shoot another bomb at number 6. Cold damage it seemed to be vulnerable to.
14?
Yeah, all
they
of
all
the,
gonna be-
the Doom
all of these?
Creepers. Yeah, they're going to be the same. Somebody roll a d6 for the damage type of this one.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
And this is poison damage, which it is immune to.
Oh.
Well, you're learning new things. This guy is starting his turn in...
Yes. Also,
now that
it
should
says-
have occurred last time too, right? As soon as he
Yes.
entered
It
it.
should.
So he's going to
Yeah,
do
so I
2.
did- All right. Here's the first one. These 2. Failed.
1 success, 1 fail. Looks like number 2
All
as
right.
well, for some reason.
For when I first teleported over there.
Okay. Yes, I see.
Yeah, I realized that I missed that, so I just went ahead and.
All right, so now you do it on number 6 again.
Well, boys, I have
Sure.
one cold spell.
Good one, though.
It's a big one.
Protocol?
Yeah, it's the only one I got.
As long as you don't hit Squillerio.
And
What do you mean? Then he'll just be back to regular Celerio. It's a net win.
Is that how you think this works?
hoping.
Alright, there we go.
Alright. Then he is going to step out of that and whip it good. Just kind of slashes at Cinder twice there. This one will come over and hit. Actually, yeah, that one will go for Millicent.
Mm.
2 attacks. Second attack is a miss. And this one will start its turn in the Spirit Guardians. And then it's going to step out and also go for Millicent.
There we go. Finally a damage without a 1.
Fantasy grounds, please let me. Okay, never mind. It was just like, no, you can't touch the spell anymore.
It'd be like that. Sometimes it be chuggy. Okay. Celerio is a squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
He will run in a random direction.
Squirrelerio should move
This
his
way.
ass. That's not an optimal direction for Squirrelerio.
Fly towards the danger.
The tree will be attacking the Doom Creepers again. 2 more bombs. One on number 14. That is a hit. Somebody roll a d6 for the damage type.
Yay. Cheeks.
That's poison. It does nothing. Oh, wait. Is that poison?
Yay.
Nope. That's thunder. That does regular
Oh.
damage. And then the other one at the other one. Somebody roll another d6 for the damage type. Never mind. It missed. Doesn't matter. Millicent.
Cool. Hit number 2. Do that. Hit him again.
Oof.
I'll just be mad.
Okay.
I'll just pout.
Rook.
Can I switch to my gun?
Yeah.
Is that okay? Yeah, I'm gonna do that and shoot one of those 2 next to Millicent. Number 14. Well, let me see. Where's Cinder? Soon. Are you gonna be able to get down there, Cinder?
Probably not,
Okay.
because I'll be able to move 30 and then I'll get a 15-foot teleport, so no. Get here and then figure something out.
Can I use my movement to drag him around?
Yeah, I'll be at half speed.
Okay.
But you move at the speed of light, so.
Yeah. I know.
We're kind of far away.
Yeah, but I can bonus action dash, so that's another. Bring us to about. Yeah, where was that? Draggy here. Oh, not him. He's not just stable to you.
That'll
There you go,
work.
Cinder, if that's close enough.
Yep, that'll work. Thank you. Are we good with me toasting your brother? Or freezing, in this case?
I'm sure if you heal.
Maybe
him
we should
after-
move him out of the way just in case.
Oh wait, am I in the way now?
Yeah. But you'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
There?
Wait,
Yeah.
maybe.
Whatever. Gun!
Mm.
Hey, you hit.
Oh,
Oh,
God. Hmm.
All right.
Where did this-
Just gonna... Anything else?
No.
It's going to attack you.
Uh-huh.
Well, that makes it easier.
Oh no. I'm gonna uncanny dodge.
All right, you're gonna have to apply it twice because it's 2 different types of damage.
Okay.
Do it again.
Millicent, are you okay with getting really cold?
yeah, sure.
I'm trying to get this to. Oh, that's why.
Do it.
Do it. Do it. Second attack. Oh. All right, Celeste. It's time for
All right.
Spirit Guardian fried rice.
It sure is, dude. And I'm gonna just mosey on over, like, there.
Do you want to hit the trees or just the blights?
I'm gonna make my con save.
I'll just do the blights for now.
Dangerous questions and have to be asked.
Yeah.
Are they friend or foe?
Can I tell visually, or is it just like a
They
tree?
seem to be attacking at complete random.
Yeah, they toss those balls
just-
at those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Just the blights then. Just the blights.
They are chaos creepers. They do not. They are ungovernable.
Come governable. Wonderful. Hey.
Wow.
Mm.
And then let's see. For 14 died. Okay, 2, so I'll just go ahead and leave it there then.
Do you want to move?
Oh, you know,
Perhaps out of that green cone.
you're so right, dude.
Just a thought. You
Perhaps
know?
out of that foreboding-looking green triangle.
Seeing Cinder over there doing calculations and like,
Oh.
Yeah, I see. I see the calculations happening. I'm gonna move away.
Okay. Cinder.
I'll run down here.
You are going to take an attack of opportunity from that one.
Yep.
Actually, from both of them because they have a range of 15.
That's more irritating.
That's unfortunate.
Well, they can't like grapple me or something.
Yeah, that's true. I wish they could. Because that would be really funny,
Ow.
but also sad.
Okay.
Oh, hang on. You're getting hit again. They both hit you.
Great.
Cinder dies before he gets the cone of cold. Not quite. He's alive!
11 hit points, just enough, baby.
Woo!
I will hold my cone until the spirit finishes his turn,
Okay.
and then I will have him.
I'll just leave it
How
on
much health
you
does
so
he
that
have
it's
now?
a little easier for your...
Oh, he's got Gunga health. He's fine. He runs over here. He takes an attack of opportunity from 6 if they want it.
That one
Oh
already
no, that
attacked
he
you.
did it to me.
Mhm.
Easy. And then he teleports Millicent this way.
Oh, hey.
Can he also teleport Celeste? If he moves in a particular
Uh,
fashion? Because there's more Spirit Guardian fun in there for you. I guess not against
no,
number 2. Yeah.
There wouldn't be any Spirit Guardian fun because I'd have to move her into the circle for it. And
Yeah.
I don't want to cold her.
Alright. Ice cream cone.
Well, first, he farts on this plant because that's very important, obviously.
Well,
Yes.
This 2d6 is going to make all the difference.
you laugh,
Very
but I
important.
think you killed Baphomet with that.
I sure did.
true.
Now
I think you farted Baphomet to death, so anything is possible.
Word him back to hell.
Farted him right back to hell.
I'm good with that cone to not. Is that get rook?
Probably. If you want to get number 6, you're probably gonna hit rook too.
A way that I can be.
You might be
More
able to
cleverer.
rejigger.
Please no.
So that gets Celeste.
I think you're gonna get one or the other.
I think the spirit could have. Well, where was he? Because he was down here.
He probably could have booped Celeste
He
out
could
of
have. He
range.
could have. He could have just up.
Yeah,
just a
that's
little
fine.
bit.
That's fine. You can do it without hitting.
Hell yeah!
You will, however, hit the Chaos Creepers.
Great.
And nothing of value was lost.
I call that a net win. All you appears to be all of me. Fold.
Did it used to show all the arrows before? Is that real?
I mean, it showed them to me. They're all looking very badly now.
Okay.
Good.
This one is gonna throw some bombs. It's gonna throw one at Celeste and one at Millicent.
Right. Oh my god.
This one does not like that it was just turned into frozen yogurt.
So it's gonna come turn me into mulch.
Yes. Well. Yes.
Yes.
There we go.
Night night.
Good night.
Valyrio is a squirrel. He will be running in this direction today.
Get it together, Squirrelio.
This Chaos Creeper is throwing bombs at enemies, which is the doomed creepers. So if we could get a D6, never mind, that's a miss. Oh no, that's a hit. D6 for the type. From somebody?
I got it.
Turn.
Ah.
You got it.
Well, you both rolled the same, so
Wow.
Congratulations.
you
There's no
did it.
question.
That one's dead.
Wow.
In a thunderous explosion. Another roll for the damage type.
But you don't want to just use the second 6?
I'll use that one
Did he do?
instead.
Can I offer you a 6?
In this trying time. Millicent.
Ooh. Alright, let me do it.
Cinder is mulch and Celerio is a squirrel. You've had better days.
Yeah. 30, 35. Yeah, I can reach there. Bam.
Also, I just remembered. Never mind. I just forgot again. It was
Okay.
it was a fleeting spark of my neurons that went away just as quickly as it came.
Yay.
All right.
I did it.
Well, and Celeste goes before Cinder, so I think the
I was gonna healing word him.
well, there you go.
Yeah.
The danger has passed.
Up and at him, buddy. The evil plants are gone.
Yep, this is worse than I remember it.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
those
good.
things weren't skittering around everywhere.
Nope, that was not a thing.
Oh, Celerio, here, boy.
Make an animal handling
Alright.
check.
Don't bite me, Celerio.
He might.
Hmm.
He just kind of skitters up to you.
what we do about this.
Halvad and King just kind of come out from behind a shrub. There you are.
Hi.
You have fun?
Plants.
What was this?
Plants.
Evil plants.
Bad.
Those ones had exploding fruit. Those ones had lasers.
Alright, we should step away from those.
Oh yeah.
Where is Celerio?
Oh,
Squirrely
no.
Rio.
Oh,
There
Was
Did he-
sticking with that?
did he do that on purpose?
Plant.
No, it was
No.
the plants.
Wow.
I mean, I can dispel it if we so want. I don't know how long it's going to last.
Do any of us recognize that this is like polymorph?
Make an Arcana check. It looks similar to polymorph, but it didn't look like polymorph when it happened to him.
Maybe we just like give it.
Dad, can you just watch over him?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Hello. Good boy.
What was polymorph last? An hour.
About.
Yeah.
We'll just check him out for that long, and then go from there.
Go with dispel magic as a backup plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could just try to dispel it.
Yeah, alright.
That's, I mean,
He just kind of points a finger, and you see it just. Ow. Okay. That was unpleasant.
I
And now we're done with Squirrely Rio. Short-lived.
Sorry to disappoint. Can we not be here anymore?
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, look.
Not that I'm confident that will improve the situation, but we can go be miserable somewhere else.
Fabulous.
That's a good plan.
Well- Lay on.
I would like to limp to some place where I can rest briefly,
That's yeah. I can.
Take a moment.
as I am currently like 80% mulch.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Your life cleric again. That
Yes,
means on
it's
every
true.
short rest you get the preserved life.
Short rest. Check.
Channel divinity.
What?
Yeah.
Channels come back on shorts.
I'm
If
pretty sure.
not-
Yeah.
Oh,
Crazy?
you're right. You're right.
That can be for you two.
I can at least get you back up to half. Yeah. Because I have
Oh.
60 points of healing. So
Well, I can take 45
great.
And then you
to
can
get
take
to
the
get
rest.
to half,
Fine.
unless you need more.
I can give us some. He will cast a 4th level Cure Wounds on you, Celeste.
Here, let me make sure to. Dude. Cool. That's definitely a bit better.
Least I could do. I was a squirrel for all of that.
Well, these things happen.
Should they though? Is the thing.
And
Doesn't get turned
in
into a
this world
spoiler
economy,
now.
yes, apparently.
Somehow the healer's kit is still decent. I only have 2 more uses. Does anybody else have more healer's kits?
I don't think I have any more healers kit, but I think I have one that's like.
I think we ever bought one.
Never mind. No, I have 3 uses left on mine as well.
I only got 2 left. I'll use
Mine
them
was
both.
out long ago.
Because it's plus a lot. So
Oh,
like
yeah, that's pretty good.
still, because the way the Matthew had us use the healer feat, it scales, so
That was the idea.
it's actually good. All right,
So
well, I'm
that's
out
the
of healer's
other
kits,
stuff?
but that's good. Do you have any more healer's kits?
Yeah, I have 5 more uses on mine.
You want to patch yourself up with one of those?
Yeah,
I
I'll
can do
take-
the dice roll if you want.
Yeah, 2 of them actually would be good. Thank you.
You need ones.
Yeah, could you put one on me as well?
Wow.
Oh,
Oh my god.
those be some dice rolls.
Did really
One of the
good.
dice rolls of all time.
6, 2, 1, 1, 2.
21-12.
Yeah. If you add them up, it averages.
Mhm.
I got 3s. All right. Well,
All right,
with
where are we
that,
going?
I'm actually probably good enough to continue. Should we set out the frisbee and fly? Because it's like a 2-day trek.
That might be easier than fighting more, whatever the hell those things were.
Yeah. As long as that doesn't cause us problems running into things. I don't know. But I think it's probably better off than whatever awaits us on the floor. So let's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that
Yeah.
case, I am certainly not going to be opposed to taking a slightly easier route.
And then I don't have to lead. I can just fly. So let's bust it out.
I'm also
The
pretty
crowd
curious to
ride.
see what it is.
Oh, that's true. You haven't seen it yet. It's still in the crab. Millicent, can we?
Yep. Hop into the crab.
Disencrabulate
That's
the frisbee.
Flying saucer.
Mm-hmm.
Disencrabulate.
It's a perfectly cromulent word.
It's one of the words of all time, man.
You just pop in and out it comes. You see how bad just better than any of the stuff we've got. How's it fly?
Dwayne.
Yeah, elemental magic.
Oh,
Well, that's how it worked on that side. Let's see how it works on this side.
it feels a little different. I'll give it a try. I don't know if it's because we're in the forest or what.
It'll be a lot. Let's see.
Yeah, that didn't work when we were in the forest on the other side, but I don't know how that. I don't know what that all means.
Fred, where are you? Lend your aid to Dwayne.
Just lands on Dwayne. Okay.
Is he helping?
I don't know. Just poops on him.
I don't think that's helping.
My arms are too small.
Maybe that part's not helpful.
Gonna have Millicent and Cinder both make a. Oh, and Rook. You can all make a wisdom check.
Wisdom.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, I get plus
Oh.
there. This has my.
Disadvantage Y?
Fear?
Oh.
Scared.
No.
Yeah, I'm marked feared and prone.
Oh, no. Try it again.
All the roll better than 7. It's gonna be real sad if I roll at 6. I will guide.
Eh.
Celeste, you can guide one of them
Yeah, I'll get one of them.
now that it's back.
Yeah, no kidding. What a good spell. What a good cantrip.
Who you gonna guide?
Yeah. We get a guide.
I already have a 17.
Oh yeah, guide Rook.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
It takes some doing, but you are able to, with the help of all of the spirits kind of working in concert, Cinder, you're able to lift the thing up off the ground and go. It certainly goes slower than it did on the other side, oddly enough, but it does seem to still be working.
Is it still faster than walking?
Oh, definitely.
Net win!
Yeah, it's just not going at light speed like it did on the other side.
We are very far from Araket, and I'm assuming his power is at least somewhat related to this.
Evil?
No, how this works, because it's channeling the elemental magic, and if
Elemental.
he's on the other side, we're
Yeah,
now
we're
very
like
far
on
from
the
actual
exact
magic, and
opposite side. Yeah, Rook, you can go, or sorry,
I guess.
Cinder. Cinder, do a survival check to see if you can navigate.
I was going to ask if it was survival or airship, and it realized it didn't matter. They're the same number. 29.
You head off to the north, kind of following the instructions. You know the place that they're talking about. As you guys were kind of near the edge of the forest, and you come up out of the tree line, you can see, all of you see the mountain range that seems to extend on your left, kind of past you and behind. And to the right, just the sea of forest, extending farther than the eye can see, going deeper and deeper. The trees are becoming larger and larger. And as you guys look out over the basin, you can tell that the trees, as they go farther in, are becoming more and more malformed and mutated. And indeed, it seems it's really just the outer maybe mile or two that remain somewhat untouched by this dark presence in the forest. The trees almost seem to be kind of moving of their own volition as they go darker, further in. Blackened protrusions coming up, odd angles. You can see forests of mushrooms from time to time as you pass by. Rocky outcroppings. And as you approach, it's a few hours of travel still. There's just kind of a general darkness over this area of the world as well. It seems like in this kind of extended place without much time or space, it's just kind of in a perpetual twilight. There is dim light coming from above, but no real source for it, and it doesn't seem to change at all as you continue traveling. And you go along the mountain range till you reach this sort of plateau, as the mountain range and the forest just kind of are thrust up a bit into these kind of crags and cliffs that kind of jut out over, forming something of a half dome over this part of the woods. This Cinder seems to be the place that they spoke of in the message that was left for you. Not quite exactly sure where, and it's difficult to see from up here, but that it seems like you're probably close to the area.
Alright, this was at least as much guidance as I was given.
Great.
What time of day is it?
Hard to say. You've been traveling. You imagine it's probably around a good time to start thinking about resting if you were feeling so inclined.
Mm.
You could press on a bit as well.
I mean, does the ship need to be, like, recharged or anything, or...
No, it's just if we're tired for the end of the day. And then we can find my people. We can try and go find them now. I honestly don't know.
Take a few hours tonight.
I can at least, like, do a pass with the ship. See if we can see some sort of encampment.
Make a perception check.
Mm.
Pretty tough to tell. You can't really get very close to the ground with this. And through the mist and the trees, you really can't pinpoint exactly where they might be. Which you reckon is probably a good thing if they've hidden well, or it could be a bad thing in case maybe it means they're all dead.
Don't see them right away. Oh, sure. Check back tomorrow. I knew of this place. We were all familiar with it, but we didn't really come here, so I'm not sure of any features, caves, or anything like that that they might be in.
Did you not come here for any particular reason?
I mean, for me, because I'm made of wood, these are rocks, but for everyone else, no, it was free to come and go as they pleased. We just didn't make a habit of it.
Right? We'll scout around more on the ground tonight or in the morning? No, after some rest.
We can. Let's find a good place to rest, and then we can scout in the morning based on that.
Yeah.
Take a little look around. A look-see.
Can do a survival check to find a relatively safe area. You can sit down and kind of look around. This sort of mixed, mishmash of different types of trees here, seemingly unrelated to each other. Some kind of more jungly, some more like pine redwood type stuff. You do find this kind of small cave almost. It's covered in moss and lichen and seems pretty well insulated from the elements. Seems as good a place as any.
Down. All right. Settle in for the night, I guess.
Hey Dad, do you think we can do anything with this weird fruit?
I have no idea. Let's give it a try.
Yeah.
Any idea what this is? Just strange magic fruit?
That's all I got on it.
You said it made you feel a bit better. Like, do you know how?
I mean, it also exploded and
I mean, yeah, that.
turned Solero into a squirrel and, other things too.
Perhaps we should study it.
Yeah, let's study it.
You can do a
Maybe it
potion
was-
check with it if you want.
Maybe with some study you can figure out what that particular bulb is going to do.
Oh.
Tough to say. You can just tell that the magic from it wears off within about a day of being picked.
I could have also given you guidance on that. Since I saw you were trying to study it.
Has a bunch of different effects. Some of them are good, some of them are not.
Can I do anything with this fruit after being picked?
You can make a potion out of it while it still has the magic. You just won't know what it does.
I'll do it.
All right. Go ahead and roll another potion check, and then roll your d8 to see what it does. Okay. You do successfully make a potion out of it.
What should I write down?
Just write
Chaos
Chaos Creeper
Creeper
potion number 3.
Uh-oh.
I made something.
Yeah. So you did.
Remains to be seen if that's a good thing.
Maybe I'll just test it out later.
Guess you can take your short rest. While you're resting, you notice that kind of sitting and watching from this small cave that you've found, you can see some of the trees seem to just be walking out in the distance. They just kind of picking up like dirt clouds here and there and dropping leaves as they go.
Hey Cinder, is that normal?
Not as far as you know.
No. No, it is certainly not.
Yeah, good, because that's creepy. It's real creepy.
Yes. Yes,
So,
it is.
what is the size limit for when a walking tree stops being creepy and is just normal?
Greater
Cinder
than
size?
0.
Yeah.
I'm Man-shaped.
Fair enough.
That's a tree.
I don't want
This is
to.
just a tree.
I don't want to get into it. Yeah, pretty good point, I guess. But not fair. Not really. He is a warforged. That is different. If you just saw a giant tower of flesh moving around, that would be different than a person, wouldn't it? That's fair, I suppose.
Yeah, I think
Can we stop
PP too.
talking
That was
about
all
pillars of flesh now, perhaps?
Yeah, that was terrible imagery. I don't like that at all.
Well,
Yeah, though fair, it also made it weird.
Brother, shall we play a little tune to
oh,
lighten the mood?
let's do that. Let's do that.
Oh, right. I should perhaps tell you. Remember how I requested
Yes.
Millicent to borrow your banjo?
Yes.
It didn't turn out so well.
I could have predicted that.
Because I believe that's why you gave me the banjo.
Yes. Yeah. Did you hit someone with it?
I may have hit Rook.
Well,
No.
then I suppose it's all well and good then.
Yeah, alright.
I mean, it made a very interesting twang sound. I will say that.
Good.
Never heard it before.
Why did this happen? Was this because of the whole?
Because the whole Demon Lord thing.
Right.
Yeah, we found where he was.
Yeah.
He was with me.
Usually associated them with a fiddle for whatever reason.
I think he just took what was convenient at the time.
Fair enough.
Although I suppose I almost exclusively play a flute. And he was mostly with me. Anyways, let's play a little song, eh?
Yeah.
Did I play the banjo good? Maybe it's my calling.
You played it great.
Well, you can get your own. I'll play a
my
little
song
tune.
or rest, but I'm going to assume his is better.
Mm-hmm.
Can we stack those?
No, you just take whichever one's higher. Can't gain
Got
the
it.
effect of the same thing more than one.
Okay, so I was making
Oh,
sure.
I thought that was his.
No.
Yeah, for a minute I was just like, damn, okay.
Damn it.
Huh?
Oh, hey, look, Stelio's 8's just enough to get me back to full.
Hey.
Buddies.
They're always better
What
than
a
me.
what a good bard he is.
Rick, you don't need to be so concerned.
I'm very bad at sneaking around and stabbing people, comparatively. Also, I spent most of that fight as a squirrel.
That's
That
true.
he did.
We were distracted in the bushes, so we didn't even participate. Y'all got some weird plants over here, man.
Counting the laser beam ones, or
Yeah, especially those.
yeah,
And whatever those is.
the walking. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, the big giant walking trees.
I'm
what
very glad we didn't walk.
Agreed.
I don't got a great feeling about all this black mist that's floating around.
No. Let's spend as little time here as possible.
What, I'm a little out of the loop considering everything, but what do you know about this place? Other than that you come from here, like, what, did you learn anything on the other side?
I know that it comes from Araket. He basically created it, right? Was what we were talking about. Let me see what I have in my notes. Been a long time.
Yeah, Baranon mentioned in passing that he had been there when it was created
Yeah.
by Araket.
Casual note.
Yeah, the basin was made by Araket during the Ascension when he did something involved with that and the planes. I'm a little fuzzy on it if I'm being perfectly honest.
I've been trying to study some of that, but tough.
And then, yeah. On this side, he basically he gave up this side. So there's an Araket on both, and this side he just left so that he could maintain his sanity on the other. So this side is basically taken over by the Shadowfell.
Ah. Guess that explains all this.
Yes. The Warforged were. No, yeah, that was all that was relevant that I had for notes, really.
So the plan is to get all your folks out of here, but anything after that with this place, or?
Yeah, eventually we're supposed to kill the corrupted version of Araket. It doesn't sound like a thing that we're capable of at this particular moment in time.
Just kill a Leviathan.
That don't
So-
sound easy.
It sure
No.
doesn't. So
But
my
neither
intention
does
was
killing a demon lord.
that was doable. They weren't fully manifested on this side.
Well, you said he split himself in two, right? Maybe this one's not at max strength or whatever.
Perhaps. And then you factor in the Shadowfell and whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah.
Either way, the intention was to get my people and have your help teleporting them away, so now we're not on a clock down here. This place can go to hell, and it's not going to put them at risk, and we can come back to deal with Araket.
We ain't
whenever
all
we're
concerned about
able.
what happens once he completely spreads in this place.
I don't know.
But I'm not totally confident we could kill that now.
Yeah.
We would at the very least need to take a rest and come topped up on spells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Topped up on spells and probably
How long does it
potions.
take to get there?
Where
Wherever he is.
point to the middle with the worst trees and everything.
As you recall, it is several thousands of miles.
It's the part that looks the worst over there. The center of the corruption is coming from him, so
Ooh.
it was
Kind of a
many,
hike.
many, many days of travel.
Hmm.
Best done magically.
Ah.
I could probably not tree stride or transport via plants there anymore because all of the plants that are around appear to be corrupted, so I don't know if I could use the trees that were around his grove originally. Or what the hell that would do to us trying to teleport into one.
Yeah.
And maybe that tree walked away.
Me.
Hmm. Maybe we'll have to just call up old Casa Jumbo again.
Yeah, that's
That was
what I was thinking, honestly.
I was thinking about it, but I didn't want to say it out loud.
Casa Jumbo time.
No.
What the hell's a Casa Jumbo?
You don't want to
Oh,
know.
you'll
You don't want
see.
to know.
We'll see.
Tongue with arms and problems.
But it can teleport.
In a terrible, terrible place.
A teleporting tongue.
Teleporting tongue.
That eats magic.
This conversation took a weird turn.
Oh,
Imagine
He's a
having a
weird guy.
conversation with him.
yes.
And this was after the Flesh Tower conversation.
Yeah.
It got worse.
Sure
I'm gonna go to bed.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all get your short rest.
Can place one spell per level on short rests, right?
Sounds right. I don't remember what I said.
That's what I've been doing, so I'm just gonna assume that it's correct and continue doing
Sounds
it.
fine.
I'm not bringing speak with plants,
Do it.
because that seems like it might bear fruit.
Your spells.
That's only within a day, though.
Also, because I can't remember, it was like we could just switch out a spell, correct?
I thought it was like one per level.
One per
I
level.
think I'll say it's that.
Okay.
I don't remember.
View plants in the hurry if you have your sentience and I have
That's right. You look.
Never mind, I'm not bringing speak with plants. It's not as helpful as I was hoping it'd be. You get plants within 30 feet, and they only are sentient of information within the last day. So, unless I want to ask them where the druids are, but is there another? Commune with nature? Isn't there like a nature thing that you can like talk to the land? Commune with nature.
Yeah.
5th
that's right.
level.
I'm sure we could just look around.
Yeah, I'll cast that out of the crystal ball if we decide we want guidance. But otherwise,
It might be handy just to know what's going on too.
yes. I'd like to try and find the druids first and see if they can answer some of the questions that I was going to seek magically. So I don't waste any effort. And then yes. Now, shall we?
Make a survival check
Search.
if you would like to search.
Ooh. Oh, nice.
Not better.
You guys continue heading northward. What do you do with the ship? Do you fly with that, or are you walking?
Fly with it, but just keep low enough to search with.
It's pretty tough to penetrate the canopy, especially as things seem to be moving around. But with a 27, I'll say you can.
Well, do we have to like? Do we have to fly above the canopy and watch down, or can we like? I'm
You
thinking,
can.
like,
It'll be pretty slow, but you can stay off the ground and just try to go between the trees.
yeah, I'm thinking like 20 feet off the ground, and just, even if we're like barely above walking pace.
Okay, yeah, that's easy enough. It'll be a little faster, but not a lot. As basically you go through some clearings, but yeah, you can do that. Just kind of steer it around among the trees. You just pass through. It's kind of warm, humid. You have the added benefit of the dark mist not reaching up quite this high, so you can see a little bit better as you pass by some of these bioluminescent trees as you're just sort of making your way through. You guys snake your way north for several hours until whatever light there was coming down from above immediately kind of gets darkened by this jutting series of pointed cliffs that seem to extend several hundred feet over, forming this kind of C-shaped wall. The trees here seem to become a little bit less infected and strange as you pass through. And Cinder, as you're piloting, you just kind of come to a stop instinctively at one point as you guys see darting out of one of the trees, just this spear tip just kind of embeds itself in the steering column of the vessel that you're in, as Rook just kind of instinctively sidesteps it. It was gonna basically hit you right in the chest, but you just are able to sense it coming and step out of the side. And you guys see, landing very gingerly and very quietly from one of the trees above on the deck of your vessel this cinder-like construct.
Ooh.
It's definitely very lithe in form, very thin and narrow. It seems to be made out of pieces of bark and vine. It almost seems to float rather than walk. As you can see, it's got 3 arms, kind of one that seems to come out of the back and hold several of these spears, as it just kind of seem to be primed for launching, as the other 2 are holding a longbow. And you can see just generally wisps of air, moving leaves around it, and vines that almost seem to kind of come down into like a braid down the side, almost to the ground. Just kind of peers at you. Keeper of the Hearth,
Climbing Fury.
your time has been long.
Longer than I hoped. Quite the greeting.
I see strange shapes. I move. This one seemed quick enough.
Indeed. They move with me.
This is well. I sense others. Kind of feel this as you see this kind of the purpley resin kind of almost embedded in her arm.
Gesture to the ship itself with Dwayne and to Rook's friend.
Ah, they move indeed. Some quicker a pace than others. These are interlopers beyond. They are safe?
Found in travel, joining us, being guided.
Well, we will bring them. There is much to discuss. He just kind of hops off and just kind of walks forward, kind of looking back, assuming you will follow.
Yeah.
See King back there just like taking sketches. Very interesting indeed.
She was the second after me.
Ah,
Ah,
an air spirit it looks like.
Yes, his name is Zwei.
Ah. Haven't seen them in a while.
It's been a long time since we've been home.
You guys float in and you can see you just all pass through this almost barrier, and you can see the mist on the ground is kind of butting up against it and just curling up into thin tendrils. It just seems to be a very compact camp setup. As you pass through the canopy, it almost seems like it just sort of comes into view. There's definitely some sort of protective enchantment going on here. You can see movement inside as several figures seem to have gathered at the center here. Several of those small tree houses, some kind of built atop each other among the canopy with kind of ropes extending between them. This is definitely smaller than the camp from before. It seems much more, and certainly much closer together and tightly knit. You can see there is kind of a house that seems to have been constructed out of like a boulder that's been almost hollowed out. That's the size of like a house, basically. As you guys kind of set down and follow this Warforged, you see another one. This one is one that you do not recognize, Cinder, as you see this bulky... It's basically, it looks like somebody took the top half of a Christmas tree and chopped it off. And then there's basically like 2 twig-like arms sticking out of it and 2 like little legs sticking out of the bottom, as it just seems to be hopping around, and just kind of spiraling around it constantly is just this like lightning bolt that just seems to be moving consistently. Ah, a return. More friends.
Hello.
Wherefore, and whence cometh thee?
I am the one who lights the path,
Ah.
returning to speak to Four.
Ah, very good. The heart of fury is I, he of the jolting bolts. And you see this like tree just basically spins around really quickly, and you can just see this as this lightning bolt just kind of comes out of nowhere. Basically, he hits himself with the Pikachu down B.
Well
And he
met.
just kind of like seems to never stop moving. It's just kind of darting back and forth. Many stories they are told of the one who lights the way. It is a sight to see. It's kind of
It's
like
good to see new faces here as well.
hops away.
Man, is everyone here to speak like that?
Yeah, I had to learn.
I mean, makes sense. They're on an isolated little island, and there's about, like, what, 40 or 50 of you said?
Something like that when I left. It's probably different now with everything that's changed.
Seems
Clearly
to
more
be
have been made, and maybe some have been lost.
seems to be a gathering. As you can see, that large hollowed out boulder. There's like another large boulder next to it that's like maybe 8 feet tall. And as you guys kind of walk into the center of town, you see that actually that boulder is another Warforged. As you see, it just kind of very slowly, like lumberingly, like moves up, and you see basically this like stone talus, shrunken down version of that, but with there's just like a small kind of dark. There is another one of those colored crystals kind of embedded in its face. But it actually seems to be alive on its own, and it kind of moves around as well. Which, Cinder, you recognize as Poe.
Poe.
As this big, giant, like 7 foot, 8 foot tall stone warforged just kind of lumbers forward. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
We
This is
don't.
This is the lumbering boulder,
Oh.
You guys
See,
call him that?
amongst other things.
Oh.
He's also he of the stout form and the architect. He's the one who helped build most of our structures.
I construct, and I am heavy.
Me too.
Wow. You have a relative. Hello. You see the crystal just kind of pops out when like little arms and legs just kind of stick out of it. Hey. Poe. I am Ka. Poe. No, I'm you're Poe. Poe. Doesn't say a lot word. Yeah, not too many of them have the level of bond that we've got, but different strokes.
Millicent, your situation with yours is also rather impressive. The level of communication and bond between the two of you. We've just kind of brushed it off, but like it took me and Zarx 4 years to get there.
Yeah, most of them are like the bird.
Oh.
Okay. I
And,
thought I was just bad at it.
and you're probably
Oh no,
the
you're actually
only-
doing great.
Oh.
and you're probably the only non-Warforged to have that level of bond.
Wow.
Oh.
Imagine it has something to do with your father, but
Yeah, it
something
makes
we've
sense.
never considered.
I can see that.
Oh man, should have brought Buckles here.
Ah.
He would have gone
I,
crazy.
I kind of
Man.
wish we could have.
The creator wishes to speak.
Good.
You see this like sedan-sized Warforged just. And he just kind of like falls over somewhere.
Is he okay?
Oh yeah, that's how he is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of.
So, one day, do you think Fred's gonna talk?
Depends
Who's
on
to say?
the development of
Wow.
your bond. That's up to the two of you.
Oh. Wow, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of do your own thing, and he's just around, so there's not as much of a urge to develop it. Whereas
true.
for us, it was like, if I wanted to communicate, I had to figure it out. So
Well, and it's also different depending on the type of elemental too, because like the stone elementals are stalwart and they will stick with you, and you will grow around each other. With the fire, it's more like we kind of fuel each other and keep each other moving. But for air, they're a lot more flighty. You know, they
What? You couldn't be.
they don't need to stay connected in the same way. Is all I'm saying. Like you could have that bond develop as you both kind of follow your own path. You go where the wind takes you. You know.
Ah, yes. That feels right.
Seems to make sense for you.
Seems alright. And just as Araket said on the other side, there are others here that weren't here when we
Yeah,
were
we
when
haven't.
we were here.
I hadn't seen a lightning elemental before.
Oh, wow.
Neither had I. I would have been something that would have concerned me at one time. That seems very chaotic and potentially.
Yeah, you see that. You see that pine tree guy called himself the Heart of Fury or He of the Jolting Bolts, just basically spinning around the camp like a top, basically.
Previously, it had been Zarxfor and I and the other fire bonds that were the most volatile, energetic, potentially dangerous if not managed. But that's something entirely different.
You guys kind of approach the stone house where you were indicated to go, and you see there's just kind of like a ramshackle door. It just kind of gets pushed aside, and you can see there's a number of rooms in this abode up here. This seems to be kind of like a front chamber, and you see something in a chair off to a corner that's just kind of sitting there. It seems to be holding like a wooden staff with like a conglomeration of berries just kind of dangling from the top, dried. This, it looks, at first glance, it almost seems like a skeleton. But as you get closer, you can see this is not a skeleton per se. It is made of bone. And but not all bones from the same thing. It's like there's like a moose antler kind of sticking out of one side. There's like some cat claws and leg bones and arm bones from various other woodland creatures. Some seem roughly humanoid in shape, but this thing has been knitted together with vines and bone. And you can see there's just like a black like miasma pulsing at its center, just kind of like with this like goat skull with the moose antler coming out of one side, just kind of like eyes you kind of lopsided, holding this staff. Greetings.
Oh,
It's kind of like hoists itself up in this very like unnatural, kind of almost mechanical way. Kind of sidles up to all of you. Keeper of the Hearth, the cleansing flame. You got my note.
it was you that left it.
Aye.
We've not been introduced.
I am the trickery, he of whims and wiles. I have also given myself a name that perhaps I will share at some time. You can see there's just these two yellow eyes just kind of glowing in the center of this black miasma. We have been confronted by the same one.
I imagined for you to be here. Well met.
Well met indeed.
The father of all has sent different gifts, different brothers. Never been seen one such as you.
I come from beyond a far place. I made contact with the father of all many years ago, many times ago. Eons, moons, it is difficult to say how long. I was the first of my brethren. I sought out you. My spirit is hum, or he hums within. He is of the shadow.
I see.
But we passed through Araket as you did, as he did within you. But we have the bond in the same way.
You seem very well adapted.
Mm.
It's something that took us a long time, so.
Mm. Hum has had contact with lots of souls in his place from which he comes. We have seen people come and go. We learned as we went, and then we came here. He came here. I was built by the same one. He awaits. Come.
Can I insight this
Mm-hmm.
creature?
Go for it. He is a warforged. a creepy one for sure, and certainly not normal, but it does seem like he is similar to you, just not with the kind of spirit that you would have expected, and certainly just a little off.
I feel like with my history with the shadow and everything going on here, Cinder would be very off-put and hesitant about a shadow spirit being central to somebody.
And it just kind of seems to be looking at you from within this guy's rib cage, just kind of like these glowing yellow eyes.
Oh, Cinder, maybe we can like forget one back here when we. Never mind. Let's go.
If he's a child of the Father and 4 wishes him, then he's fine. But I too am unsettled.
He just kind of like swings a door open, and you can see a familiar sight reconstructed here of For's workshop and study. The stony construct in here is strangely cold in the room, despite that. But there does seem to be the kind of central forge that he was able to put together here. The sort of furnace-like construction of stone and vine, and it seems to have more additions added onto it. These kind of like cathode tubes of like plasma and lightning, and there seems to be wind. It seems to have entrapped a number of like raw elemental powers in here, not spirits per se, just the essence of the power. You can see new ones as well. There's like dust and smoke, lightning. There is not whatever this guy is, the darkness, but other elements pervade throughout the central chamber, where you can see the familiar shape of For.
Let's see.
This stout, kind of weighty and dense looking brass warforged. You can see his number is basically carved and engraved onto his back shoulder plate. And he seems to just be working at something on the table. You can see this spindly warforged on the table. It kind of seems to be standing there as For is kind of working. You guys all see, seems to have 7 limbs constructed out of various bits of scrap metal. And there seems to be water flowing through conduits embedded in it. And at the center, there's just this kind of small bluish purplish crystal with 8 points coming out of it. It kind of turns as you all come in.
See, we have both grown much, wise one.
He just kind of looks over at you.
Hello.
Welcome back. Spider, this should hold you for some time. He seems to tie off whatever he was working on then, on that one that's on the table, and it just kind of like scuttles down, kind of scuttles over to where you guys all are, and just kind of looks up at you all. I was listening. Kind of this like spider-like construct just kind of like looks up at you all, and then just kind of climbs up onto the wall and around you and exits. See, For just kind of sets down like a hammer and tongs. Did not expect to see quite so many.
I understand, but this was best.
Aye. Kind of looks over at all of you. He seems to pause on Isaac. And keeps going. I see you met he of whims and wiles. Kind of like comes forward. Yes, Father, I have brought them in as you requested. Very good. You can return to your post. Blinks by you. One of you could close the door. The Halvad's just like looking around at all the tools and stuff on the wall, all of the forge implements that he's got set up at the back of the room. Yes, I'm sure this is a lot for all of you. I would that we could catch up. I take it you have learned much on your way.
Indeed. Much that concerned me. It took some time to be able to find my way back.
You trust these?
Yes.
Then
I
sit.
brought them all for a reason.
I would hear your tale. He just kind of sits on the table. We can go ahead and take a break there.
Okay. And for the conversation we come back, we can just TLDR the passing of the story. Cinder would tell him absolutely everything.
Okay.
Every single minute detail of our time together, Cinder would just dump all of it to Four. Like both sides, everybody we've met, the whole he holds nothing back.
Fair enough.
Well, I've stabbed people a few times. So what?
I imagine there's some details in there that Celerio and Halvad might not have known as well, but
Yep.
gets everybody up to speed.
Yep, but that would be how he approaches this.
Easy enough.
He's been
All right.
waiting for that. So.
All right, we will do that on return. Soon enough. Welcome back. So, Cinder, you just kind of sit and methodically tell the tale from your time in Spindrift and with the pirates that you were working with, to your journey to Rise, your way up, your meeting with the High Priestess, your first meeting with this group and with Ben and Julia, your travels down there, your various meetings with the Eye, your subsequent journeys across the continents and the crumbling peaks where you freed the other Leviathan, to the starting of the war and your involvement there. Inevitably, your tale of Grasswind and the various fun things there, your taking of Rise, your travails back at the Abbey of Sin as well. All of that, then all of the other stuff from the parallel world that you visited, and going inside Rook's brain, and meeting and killing various demon lords, and meeting Araket over there, and your journeys in the basin there. And this whole thing takes a few hours to just sift through, and you guys are all like, holy shit, we did a lot of stuff. You guys are just...
Everybody is suddenly reminded that Warforged don't need air or water.
Yep. He just talks and
As he
talks
just full
and
robot.
talks and talks.
Why does he breathe? Oh wait.
The entire time, Boar is just sitting completely still.
Okay. I was gonna insight check him, but
You can.
just to see how he feels about these things.
You can try.
No.
It's, robot. He's sitting completely placid, completely still. Not moving in the slightest. And as you reach the end of your tale, he just kind of... That is a lot.
That's why it took so long.
Yeah.
You have done much.
Too much. More yet to do.
Do you believe that you could end the contagion?
I believe we must try. And the Father of All said as much. He said it was required. So we must.
And the awakened. It
Also his
seems
doing.
I was right to assume a connection with him. In working with him, I was emulating him.
Would seem they are brothers and sisters after a fashion.
It
That
is
his work.
troubling, though, this other place you speak of.
I would like to take our people there. But that will be very difficult.
Or bring him here. Cleanse this place.
Yes, we could certainly ask, but I fear that if that was his desire, it would have already been done.
He's
Yeah. How come he didn't stay good on this side and have evil him be on the other one?
From what it sounds like, the proximity of this world to the Shadowfell is too much to bear.
Right.
I asked him.
I do remember now.
A fair, if somewhat unsatisfying answer.
These two worlds cannot stay apart forever, as I'm sure you've surmised.
Yes.
They both grow in instability.
And their rejoining will be complicated.
potentially catastrophic or calamitous.
Likely.
They are two lodestones that resist what must be forced together. I have a number of thoughts and questions. To begin with, I would first caution, I would like to try to assuage some of your anxieties about the trickery, the new creation.
He's made of bones.
I only have somewhat of a hand in the construction, as I'm sure King can attest to. We only provide so much to the process. When we create, there is always another guiding force that brings them together, and that was the form that he chose. He is dark in heart, but not in nature, if that makes any sense. Or perhaps the other way around.
He bears no.
Sorry, go ahead.
He comes from a dark place, but he bears no ill intent to our people. He's
He
trustworthy.
was something of a harbinger. When you left, we got the first taste of those things that came from far beyond. We had seen bits and pieces of things trickling over, but the full corruption began shortly after you departed, those years ago. He was the first spirit that arrived, and so far the only amiable one that we've come across. It seems he passed through the veil and was touched by Araket before continuing. He is a corrupted form of the spirit that inhabits you or the others. He doesn't speak, but he imbues his bonded with certain powers that have proven helpful. We don't know entirely what to make of him, but he has been assisting us and providing us with information that we would not have otherwise been able to find. We don't know for certain what his motivations are, but he seems to progress and bond just as yours do.
Then he has earned his place.
That is how we saw it. He is off-putting, to say the least. But we are not in a position to be choosy with our friends.
If he's gonna come with us to somewhere else, though, you gotta know that's gonna look like necromancy.
Indeed. After a fashion, though, in a sense, from what you have described, all of this is a form.
Well, yes, but
He is made of bones.
Yeah, people are gonna. Yeah.
Depending on where we go, that may not be an insurmountable problem.
In time of war, perhaps, certain things can be overlooked. But we will hide him away, nonetheless. We will hide ourselves away. My children and I are not fighters. We are survivors, and we are tenders. I will not commit any of my other children to this effort.
We do not seek your aid in war. we seek to evacuate you from a land that grows more hostile by the day. Find you a safe place to live until I can come back and deal with this.
Do you know of one on your side of things who might be able to look after this community in my potential absence?
Yes.
Good.
It is in the war-torn land, but it is one who is trustworthy.
Good.
Why would that be required?
I hear these stories from your allies here, and he kind of looks at Rook and King. I, like you, have unfinished work in the land of my home, my old home. I have hidden long enough.
I don't suppose you speak with anyone up there still.
I have not, but I might know some people, provided any of them are still alive.
Well, this Rusty, no.
Ah. I can sympathize with your struggle, perhaps more than any other. I remember what it was to awaken, to be chained. I vowed that this would not occur to my children here. Unfortunately, that's a vow I've only been somewhat successful in maintaining. Some of us have been taken and corrupted by the spirits of the forest that have become malevolent. We have lost many. Our numbers have dwindled. There are perhaps 20. We hold firm. But I fear I have missed too much in my absence. And it sounds as though there is still work yet to be done back home.
What do you wish?
For now, the safety of my children, you included. But, as I said, I will not commit any of them. But I am committing myself on a return. Should I see that they have a safe place to thrive, I have words I would like to exchange with those who built me. I know what it is to bring life into this world now. I know what it is to construct something from your soul and imbue it with the breath. This knowledge has not made my rage any lighter or my burden any easier to carry. There must be a reason. And I would inquire as to what it is.
Well,
We really
You and
are
Rook.
alike.
you and Rook may get along after all.
Yeah.
That was the agreement I made with these who I travel with. To come down here, to see to this, to see to my family. Then I would go along for that.
I do not seek only vengeance. I would leave that to those better equipped to understand it. But I wish to know if my people if your kind are ever to become more than what we are. Right now we are, but you are all. Perhaps not you. The rest have not developed quite as strongly as you have, but all of you are on the path to humanity. And there are darker shades to that. I would seek to know what to avoid. What could commit a man to such blasphemy?
Vengeance can be left to the ones who seek it, but it's not a safe land to travel, especially for ones such as us, so going in confidence would be advised.
This is understood. I do not expect such things to happen quickly. I am merely concerned. But I believe you have done well in gathering these. Lord Zelton, for you I would have some questions as well, but perhaps those can wait. But again, you and I are somewhat alike, I think. I mean, I think so. We both... I hope you understand the position that I was in. None of us here are purely victims, but at least we ought not be any longer. Your story, Celeste, seems eerily similar. I see why this is the group you have collected.
It's not entirely by my hand.
Wheels of fate weave as they will. Leviathans and gods, far beyond me to understand their workings. But you, who have communed with them and met with them and freed them from bondage, have far surpassed anything I could have ever expected. It gives me hope.
It's just what was required.
As you can always be counted on for. How do you propose to bring us home to wherever it is you want to bring us?
We will have to leave behind our accommodations and our things, but can bring our people. We will have to make a new home.
This forge is of significance, but its power has dwindled as the Father of All's connection has waned.
And it ought not be lost forever. Someday I will return and finish what must be done.
If there isn't as many people here, I mean, Celerio, if you have teleport, you can do an object.
I could certainly try. Rather large, but I might be able to.
Count in place of a person or two. And the other two were going to both use circles, correct?
Yep.
20 people we could probably get into. Be a stretch for 2 circles, but we could probably do it.
Must be able to fit entirely inside a 10-foot cube.
I think I can manage that.
Alright.
There's always the nuclear option as well.
Careful with that.
Let's try my best with just the teleport. Will we taking them to the triumvirate? Okay.
I talked to the mayor to see if he would be able to support guests. He was welcoming.
This war of fades. How do you all see it ending?
My first thought is violently, but
The
Has
heads of the
many
snakes will be
wars
cut
to
off,
endure.
and what happens from there will play out how it will play out.
As far as I'm concerned, taking all the Black Myers out of the picture.
And this high priestess.
Trixie too. Probably her too.
Yeah, she.
It'd be even greater if we could strip away her magic power too.
it would be great, but there definitely
Not
some
necessary, but
No, listen.
I think she deserves it, but
No,
yeah.
she definitely deserves it. I just also want answers as to how the hell she got the information she did.
Yes.
that's true. That's a very interesting ritual. That
Sometimes mercy is not something we do for the person to whom we are extending it. But there are some who are beyond its reach.
Yeah. Very much.
This place you mentioned, this interloper spoke of, Anasia.
Yes?
What lies there?
Unclear.
I
The
can't remember
bones of
the words
bo-
he used.
From his description, the bones of a civilization long dead in his time of the Ascension. Place of ancient magic and power, and part of the ritual to cause the Ascension in the first place. And I think there was some lingering issue left from that as well.
Many knots to unravel.
Unfortunately. But all in their own time. That's not a immediate problem.
It seems many of these issues are the machinations of the Dreadmaw.
It feels that the more we search, the more leads back to him.
The branches spread wide, but they all come from the same root. Much to consider.
But the father of all and his other brothers are also all now accounted for. So there are other roots in this complicated tree, but
Comes
we're
back
yet
to the
see
fore.
the full picture.
And the gods residing within the lattice.
And whatever influence or effect the Dreadmaw has there.
It would seem they are locked in stasis, and the freeing of one would imply the freeing of the other.
That's the impression I got. which is concerning.
To say the least. As it sounds, the Blackmire of our side was gulled by Nalor, the child of the Dreadmaw, into causing this rift between the two worlds and splitting them apart. In so doing, he believed he was keeping the world safe, which perhaps he did for a time. But the question is, what would the Dreadmaw stand to gain from this? It would seem to me, were the lattice to fail, as it was meant to, and the islands to fall, the gods, along with Urilash, would be free. Why would he choose to keep himself imprisoned?
Unless there's another form or function to him that we do not yet know.
I would not assume that we understand much of anything about him.
The body may be imprisoned, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he is.
Maybe Nalor is prepping something?
Perhaps. Perhaps it was something that required there to be two of him, along with the other child.
Yeah.
Or perhaps this... You said the father of all had to choose, and that the others were fragmented, fractured, necessarily weakened. Perhaps when his time arrives, he wants his brethren to be scattered.
If he remains trapped on this side, but his brothers who would resist him are weakened on the other, when the land falls and he returns, what opposition remains on this side?
Oh, and then that's when they're gonna sever the two, maybe. Keep the Leviathans that are in more control on the other side, and then, break the link or something?
One
I don't
world
know.
for him, one world for them.
Yeah.
And once he has taken this, he will be strong enough to take the other.
And boy, that all really sucks, huh?
Dark tidings.
Yeah.
It's a lot of assumptions that we just made, but unfortunately a lot of them make sense.
Given what I have seen from the father of all, I know the power of a corrupted Leviathan, and that one was evil to begin with. He was always the strongest.
Well, we might have 3-on-1 this time. Because we helped free Shark Boy.
I do need to go to the depths and find him. I guess we're down here now, but
In a sense, you may wish to recombine these worlds, find a way to undo Nalor's spell. But those
Oh,
answers
sure.
likely lie with Blackmire.
Yeah. Perhaps one day we'll have to go to the Institute anyways.
Knots within knots. Of course,
You
by
think it's-
doing so, you bring the Abyssal Hells closer, along with Shadowfell. Perhaps
Remember
it's
that
best to
one
divide and
time-
conquer after all.
When we traveled in the you know, in the lattice. Do we think
Through
that
them
that's
all.
safe to do? Because it's, you know, via him in a way, right?
In a way. He is a devourer of plains.
Really, it's a question of, does he want us to do it? He allowed us, clearly. We passed his trial and he played along. I don't think it's safe to assume that it'll be that way every time.
I was just thinking it'd be a very solid way to get us into Zeltenbrock. Or onto Aster.
Hmm.
Dude.
Not a bad thought.
Since the place is all closed off these days on Zeltenbrock, they wouldn't see it coming, that's all.
Remember,
They hopefully wouldn't. I
Mira.
know that there's a Zeltenbrock guy there.
Mira.
She knows of.
Yeah, nobody's seen her in a few months.
Yeah, she's for sure with Nalor, right?
And she went through. Told her all
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
I don't know what her deal is. She helped us out at Rise.
That's
She
true.
Maybe she was still looking for information from us that she now feels she has.
Maybe. Well, maybe she's just got her own thing going on. I got no idea with her.
Wasn't she related to somebody?
Yeah.
Nalor.
It was
Lord.
okay.
It's her
I mean,
father.
That's right.
She used to
I
bring
mean-
him kids.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe she's a evil lady, but maybe she doesn't want to be all in on the bring granddaddy back thing. I don't know.
It's difficult to say.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Families are difficult.
It'd be great if we could make her a neutral party instead of fight against her. That's
True.
all.
Be great to make her a neutral party, but at the same time, I think she also just likes power.
But
Well,
what if we can offer her some power?
we're
I
gonna
don't
be
know
taking
how.
over Zeltenbrock. I don't know.
Hopefully.
Well, yeah, hopefully.
One step at a time.
Yeah.
Get the people to the surface.
One step at a time.
With that being said, one step at a time, let's get these folks out of here, huh?
Yeah, that's oddly the simple solution right
I
now.
will gather them.
He just stands, just kind of walks by, just like puts a hand on Cinder's shoulder and just kind of like puts his forehead to your forehead for a time. And then just walks out. See the trickery just kind of come down the hallway. Like,
Long talk.
Mm-hmm.
Much to share.
I imagine. Are we leaving?
Yeah.
Soon.
I'll get my stuff.
He has stuff.
Yeah, what kind of stuff do you think he has?
Shiny coins.
you guys see the collection of folks, some of the ones that you've seen before. You also, Cinder, you see a handful of other ones that you recognize, and some that you don't. You see one, this one that seems to be a conglomeration of moss and stones, but it's just kind of, nothing seems to be attached to anything else. There just seems to be like kind of dusty wind that just kind of connects between all the various disparate pieces, just kind of like swirling and writhing constantly. But the bulk of them just kind of gather in the town square. You see the trickery comes out with just like a very simple burlap sack. Just... Where are we going?
What's in the bag?
My stuff.
Which consists of?
What's your stuff?
Let's see.
I think I
Magic
have like an
potions,
eyeball
a
in a
shield,
jar.
I don't have one of those.
Oh,
and oh, this little beetle. How wonderful.
I have a beetle.
Why are we doing this? We're going above to the skybound lands.
Ooh. Father has told many stories of the skybound lands.
We're not going where Fort was from. Somewhere
Tragedy.
more accepting than that.
Hmm.
they're really fun though.
Accepting of me?
In time,
Hmm.
perhaps discomfort at first, but
Ah.
if you earned your place among our people, you can earn your place among theirs as well.
Delightful. I shall endeavor to do this.
Maybe like wear a cloak to start off there.
Is that going to make it better? Cloaked figure made of bones.
I like to feel the breeze rattle my ribcage.
Okay.
How delightful.
Walks off.
You have a strange family, Cinder.
It's gotten stranger.
You can
Not that I
see
disagree, but Rook, you also have a strange family.
he's right there.
Just like look behind me. Yeah, you're right.
Isaac is like somewhere else. You see him just like off, like poking one of the warforged. Like you see the gathering of all of the spirits kind of at the center as Zarks kind of goes to join them, and you see Ka and the bird just kind of fly over too. They all seem to be kind of communing with each other as all of the crystals of that all of these various people have just kind of glow faintly.
Children, the time has come. Our home is no longer defensible. We will recover it in time, but for now, the father of all is gone. We have known this for some time. We must admit it to ourselves. We will have our chance, but for now we must recapitulate. If we are to live, we must abandon this place.
There's some murmurs out in the crowd, but they all seem to kind of get the gist.
Cinder would step up next to him and speak to the people. The path is long and has been very difficult, and it will be new to all who grew up here, who know nothing else. But the hearth is not a place. The hearth is the flame. It is that which we tend and maintain. Together, in a new place, we can tend a new hearth. There will be others, different from us, unknowing of us. But in time, we will find a balance and peace, unlike what you all have experienced here since I've been gone.
The architect just kind of like rolls up. We will build a new, stronger, and safer.
There will be a place to do it. These interlopers that came with me, they are going to be our path, our guide. Trust in them as you would trust in me, for they will get us there.
They all just kind of bow their heads. You see the trickery just kind of ambles over to kind of be with them all, and just kind of sets his staff in the ground and just bows as well. You see the shadowy form just kind of leak out of him and just kind of go to rest near the rest of the spirits, just kind of floating there.
That's not gonna stop being weird.
Kind of looks over, just kind of like looks up at you from his bow.
Where are we to go?
Place called the Triumvirate, a holy place to some of the people above, and a shelter to those torn by war. Our aid, our building, our tending of the hearth will be as much of a boon to them as their security will be to us.
Want me to get the circle going?
I will go and... Actually, how about you've got teleport, right?
Yeah.
Alright. Fala, how about you use one of your scrolls and draw the circle? How about I feel much more confident in your ability to teleport that thing than mine? Conjuration expert and all.
Oh, yeah, that's probably a good idea, actually. Or I could just do both.
Oh, you could just do both. I can use a scroll, it's fine. Come. King just goes and starts drawing the glyph. Halvad just kind of goes into the back room. You see Forge kind of goes with him.
Are there any particular... Just get what you can. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Yeah. Alright. Shouldn't be too hard. For things before.
Gonna go ahead and cast. You guys out there, you see King gets the circle set up. Are we ready to go?
think so.
Alright, everyone, you're gonna have to funnel in once this thing gets up.
We'll have a very brief moment.
This will take us to Saint Aelith, and then we can hoof
We
it.
can travel from there.
Right. See all of the spirits kind of go back to their respective warforged. See the trickery is just up at the front, kind of looking down at this circle very quizzically.
As all the spirits come back, Cinder would keep Zark's out. Let him stand beside it.
He just kind of like looks up at all of them, just kind of seems to be communing with the rest of them. Some of them a little bit more cogent than others, some of them barely at all, but a handful of the oldest ones seem to have reached a level that was how you were when you started your journey. He just kind of leads the way. Four and Havad come back out.
Well, it's gone.
It'll be what it'll be.
Alright.
Everybody ready? Finishes the circle. They all kind of hesitate for a moment, but Zark just immediately steps forward and they follow him. The lot of you can get through.
He goes first, and Cinder would wait until everybody goes through, and he would be last.
As you kind of step through, you feel for a moment as your spirit has teleported away and you're left with a kind of quiet, and for the first time you're able to really kind of attune with the forest here, free from all of the interference and other influence that he has on you. And you just immediately, you're just kind of overtaken with this image of just like a maelstrom of elemental fury and power, as you just get visions of crackling lightning and roaring thunder and boiling lava and geysers of jetting water from all sides, of mountainous crags thrusting up. You sense this vision coming from the center of the forest. As you step through, you feel overwhelmed and overcome by just the sheer intensity of this power. You feel the corruption of Araket is complete, and it is reverted into some complete primordial chaos that awaits you at the center of the forest on your return. But you all arrive safely in St. Daleth in the kind of cramped upper room of the headquarters. You see Buckles is just kind of standing there. Like,
Hi, Buckles.
Wow.
all of the various other Warforged just kind of, hi, Buckles.
Hello.
These are
Buckles?
their cousins.
Oh, wow.
And,
Those, these are the other Warforged. Theaka. These are the other spirits of
He just
Araket.
kind of comes out onto the shoulder. She's just kind of like waving. Some of them do. You see the trickery just kind of.
You have a very interesting construction. Yes, I am made of buckles. Hence the name. Yeah. Interesting.
Comes from a different father.
Hmm.
Just kind of slinks down the stairs. 4 goes up to you.
Lead the way. We will follow.
It's a journey, but a brief one. What's like a day or two at most, if I remember? Something like that.
Yeah, it's like 2 days, I think.
Yeah.
Pull out my map again. Yeah, it's like. Let's see. It's in the middle. It's like 120 miles, so it's like 3 or 4 days. But
There's a journey.
I sent the forge there. Hopefully it's there.
We shall see.
We are over a conflux point. Yeah, this is one of the big ones. I can feel it. It has been some time since I have drawn power from one.
see, all of the other Warforged are just kind of. See, some of these guys are made from stone or wood or like moss. There's one that seems to be made entirely of mud. They're all various shapes and sizes. Some of them as big as the lumbering boulder. Some of them are like small. The spidery one is pretty compact and small. Interesting motley crew you have assembled here. You guys kind of head down and out. You see Buckles is down there with the trickery. They seem to be talking to Ophelia Elsinore as well as Jensung, and the mayor is down there.
Approach the mayor.
Oh, I guess you were right.
It worked.
Well done. You want to hit the
Yeah.
road tomorrow?
They're ready to begin the journey. It's gonna be a lot. Is your town going to be able to support it?
We do what
I
we
mean,
gotta
they-
do.
I mean, they don't eat,
Yeah, that
so
don't need.
that helps. And they can make their own homes, so hopefully they can give back.
We've taken in a lot of lost people. Kind of what we do. We even have some clerics of the High Church.
I think this might be a little different. They may not be as lost as you may expect.
Well, great then. We'll make some use of them.
Hopefully.
If they're anything like you, I think we'll be just fine.
There was a time I would have said they were, but I'm not so certain anymore.
There's always a tie that binds us to our home, I think. And hey, you learned by coming out here, right?
Eventually.
Here they are. And they've got the benefit of your experience.
And others around to help.
What we do.
Tomorrow then.
Tomorrow.
Try to get them
You
situated.
can
for a
wrangle them
short
pretty
rest.
easily, yeah.
Plop
That
down
is-
the tower that can't hold them all and just be like, just sit around here.
There's a lot of guys like you here.
Yeah.
Roger and Buckles are just like off to one side, just like, look at that one. They're just like pointing at all the different ones they see. That one's a
As I
big
s-
rock.
Indeed. As I said before, I came from somewhere far away. Wasn't the only one.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess I just kind of never really thought about it.
Yeah, they're having like a family reunion.
That's crazy. I don't want that. My family sucks.
Oh.
But good for you though.
I feel like it would be appropriate for me to inquire, but I'm kind of unpacking a lot myself right now, so I'm going to leave that one for another time.
I'm from Galbear.
Here we go.
That's it.
Enough said.
Yeah, that's fine. It's not really high on the list of priorities right now.
Mm-mm.
Might it become one on the other side? Settle in for a rest.
Yeah, you guys
I
can
don't-
do that.
Not going to seek any of them out or anything like that.
Anything in particular anybody wants to do that evening?
Out of curiosity, like, how many more are new compared to when Cinder left? Like,
It's about 50-50.
Jesus.
And there's a lot of new elementals that you haven't seen. There's some lightning, some dust elementals, there's some ice elementals.
Actually, I lied about not seeking anybody out. I do have something I want to do this rest. Can I have Zarks help me assemble the spirits? And I want to put all of the primordium together and all in one place and do the same thing I did with Aelith and Zarks the last time and like
Go for it.
into it and see what I
Yeah,
can
just do a wisdom check
understand.
for me.
Now there's a whole bunch more in one spot. Well,
This is overwhelming, for sure. This is a lot. You see them all kind of beginning to tremble and like shape themselves into almost like a pattern or like a drawing of some kind, almost like they seem to be guiding you towards something. You get a sense that it's trying to lead you somewhere, but you can't make out exactly what's going on. You're gonna need to spend like a lot of time puzzling that out. But the more that you bring these things together, you can see that they're helping each other kind of grow and meld a little bit. Gathering up all of these fire and water and earth and air, and then a handful of other more eclectic spirits.
spend some time doing that, struggling with it, and eventually give up for the night. That'll be it.
Rook, as you're
Oh.
trancing,
Mhm.
you are approached by 4. Kind of sits across from you.
Alright. Alright, what's going on?
Have you ever been to Fairburg?
No. Most of my life I was in Drexler. I plan on making the trip.
I have some information that might be helpful to you when the time comes. but I will
I'll love to hear it.
collect my thoughts on the matter.
Anybody in particular you want your little vengeance on? Justice. Sorry.
I seek mostly knowledge.
Ah.
Vengeance and justice, of course, in their time, but I
From
wish
a
to
black
know.
wire?
I just want to know how the heart can darken so fully.
Yeah, I don't have that answer yet either, so
We will speak more.
alright.
Heads up.
Go back to prancing.
Anything else from anyone?
Yeah, can I actually go ahead and set up my world of recall? Um, probably in front of like the am I know that Halvad had like a room where he set up like a ward, so I don't think I could actually set it up in the area that's protected because no magic.
I think it needs to be a temple or something dedicated to your god, as far as I know.
Oh. To a previously designated sanctuary.
Right. Let me see.
I mean, we're going to the triumvirate.
Such as a temple dedicated to or strongly linked to a deity. In
Right.
that case, I could just go make it the Temple of Celion that I know
Yep.
is here.
Oh, there.
There is one there. You can stop by there. You see Celerio is there again. Just kind of doing his usual thing, and he just kind of like nods at you and walks out.
It's fine. I just need to do one spell now. It should be fine.
Yeah, you can do that. You can set that to be
Alright.
there.
Yeah, perfect. I just needed to get it set up somewhere. That way I could just use it.
Good idea.
Otherwise, I don't have much off the top of my head.
All right.
Actually, sorry, I do have something. It's the middle of the night right now, right? Or like,
Yeah.
I could. I'll go ahead and just send a. God, I don't. I was going to. My thought was send a Jade a message via pen, but I realized it's sending her a piece of paper that appears out of nowhere in a place that doesn't like magic might not be a good idea. So I'll hold off on that thought.
Okay. All right. Well, you guys get your rest. And the next morning, you can head out for the Holy Triumvirate with your gaggle of Warforged. But I think we can go ahead and stop there for the night. Since it's probably the most opportune time. What? Are we good for next week still? The 30th of August?
I think it'd mostly just be. I think the only inhibitors that's just trying to get prepared for the rest of the week.
Right. Because I know that would be the last one for a while.
Yeah.
Let's tentatively say yes, and we can message about it if something changes.
All right.
That way we have a plan to break.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we are not. Basically, the month of September is shot for all of us for various reasons. So, we will tentatively say next Wednesday, the 30th. And hopefully that pans out.
Yeah.
But until then, we'll see ya.
Good night.